Nope.
Oh my God. Don't worry. Hey, keep it going.
Hello and welcome to the Untranslatable Podcast. We are here recording episode 139. And today, well, not we, but I am on the road again in Xi'an, China, which is the capital of the Shanxi province. And I have been there doing some teacher training. So we're here to talk about it, tell you some cool stuff about Xi'an, and also discuss what I was doing in terms of teaching. And per usual, I am sure Jared has come prepared, locked and loaded with some great questions. So I'm looking forward to hearing what Jared has to say today. So without further ado, my good buddy Jared, what's going on, Jared?
Hello. Welcome, Chad. I'm sure some students were graced by your presence this weekend, and they hope to take that knowledge on to other students. But for now, please spread a little love. Well, that was weirdly delayed. Spread a little love. Sorry, you guys don't know, but I know it was delayed. Please spread a little love. Follow us on Instagram, Untranslatable Podcast. We're gonna hope that Chad has some pictures for us from Xi'an that you guys are currently looking at.
Some non-blurry ones.
Yeah, I wasn't going to bring that up, but I don't know how Chad is. Chad has an iPhone, by the way, and he manages to take some of the worst pictures I've ever seen in my life. Sometimes you'll even like do the screenshots of them. You won't even send me like the picture. You'll like screenshot your screen and send it to me. So I have to like edit out like the X button in the top corner or something. It's always fun with Chad.
Oh, you know why? Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Not important. Continue.
But
continue.
I take Chad's mess and I try to make it into something that's actually nice to look at. So spread a little love. Check out my good work.
And you do a great job, Jared.
On Instagram, Untranslatable Podcast. Twitter, Untranslatable1, the number 1. I retweeted some interesting stuff I came across this weekend, one of which I'll bring up in a second I want to ask you about. And you'll see the episodes there and links to things like our Spotify, our YouTube, our Apple Podcasts. But that's not it. We're everywhere. Stitcher, all Podbean, wherever else people look at stuff or hear podcasts, you can probably find us there. And spread a little love for all my hard work and Chad's hard work. Please, 5-star reviews on iTunes and Stitcher. Hey, dude, I'm interested to hear about your I don't even remember what your topic of presentation was for this trip, but we'll talk about that in a bit.
Sounds good.
Have a recommendation for either a new technique or like a speed, or for you to use or for you to teach about. Have you ever, in all your years of teaching, whatever level or style of teaching it was, have you ever struggled with students cheating?
Only a couple times. In my German classes. And what happened was I had a couple students who I could see were peeping at their phones. And one of the students tried to say I was checking the time. I told him that's not going to fly. We have a clock right here. That's not going to work. And if you don't know how to read like a clock that's not a digital one, I'm sorry, but maybe you shouldn't be in college.
How you made it this far, yeah.
Right, exactly. So what I would make my students do then is put their phones on airplane mode and set them up on the front desk, and they could get their phones after they took their test or their quiz.
That's a good idea. I have another recommendation for you. You know, kids these days are scared to give up their phones.
They are.
I think you should hear what Karnataka College's out-of-the-box, quote-unquote, method to get a check on copying. An attempt at an out-of-the-box solution to the problem of exam malpractice has landed a college administrator in Haveri in Karnataka in hot water with the authorities. So this out-of-the-box solution that people keep talking about involves the professor was having trouble with students cheating, so he gave them all boxes to put on their head and cut a hole in like the box for you just to be able to look down. So with any sort of turn of your head, it would be very obvious because the whole box would be turning. And
oh my gosh.
Another technique they had before that was installing CCTV cameras in exam halls. And that apparently didn't work. Clearly these students are smarter than the teachers if they can't even stop it with like cameras.
Also, who came up with the idea for like a box? Like they have dividers for tests, and they're not that expensive. They're just these cardboard dividers.
Right. And is it I think it's ridiculous. I mean, it's sad that it has to come to this, and it just seems like a ridiculous idea. Do you think it's worthy of getting the teacher in trouble?
For putting boxes on their heads?
Yeah. They're not children. I mean, they're not children. They're college students. I might feel a little differently if they're like 8 or 9.
If they were kids, yeah. I feel like, okay, here's what I would do.
Let's be clear, you wouldn't do this.
Here's what me as a professional, it's like, English language fellow gets fired from teaching post in China for podcast remarks about boxing students' heads against cheating. No, all right.
For his out-of-the-box comments.
Well, oh, God, here we go. Okay, so here's the thing. I think if I had caught you cheating before, it would be kind of like a dunce cap. You know what I mean? Like if I catch you cheating, it's like, all right, you get the box. Like
right.
That's
but they
what
do
you gotta
say
do.
that shame is no way to punish someone. It's a very unhealthy way to punish people.
I guess
psychologists, I think.
Okay, yeah, that's
you've never
fair,
heard that before.
I have not, believe it or not.
Oh wow! So you have no problem with shaming people.
I've never had to shame any students. Thankfully, I've had really good students.
But the idea of that being a problem seemed like such a ridiculous notion to you. You're just like, what? Shame is bad? Right. What are you talking about?
Right. I don't know. I guess I would have just looked for a different solution than putting a box on their head. Like I said, like there are test dividers. I mean, look, you could also take like buy those like fake glasses that don't have lenses in them and just tape like some construction paper going like this, like horse blinders.
Kind of pricey and like time consuming to do now. Now you have
That's
an
true.
art project.
I guess a box
like 40
is cheaper.
Students.
I guess a box is cheaper. That's all right.
I had now this wasn't me, everyone. I swear this wasn't me. But in my high school, maybe I told you about this. There was a kid that was, we had our final exam, and the kid, like we were all sort of leaving around the same time, finishing. Like you could just leave when you were done, obviously.
Right.
And there was one guy that was there like later than everyone, and I was like, like as I was leaving, I whispered, I was like, Dan, what? Oh. That's not his name. I just made that up. Why are you? I mean, it's his first name. Who knows who he is?
Right.
Why there are a bunch of anyway? Why you like? I was like, he's like, you almost done? And he's like, and I looked down at his table. He had all the answers written in pencil on his table. Like he had gotten answers from someone else and just written them down on his table, and he was just copying from the table to his test. And
you better hope that teacher used the same test, though.
Hope that they use the same. Oh, yeah. That's a good point. It's a good point.
Because I mean, if there's most exams, you make an A and a B form,
right?
And
but
so
in high school,
better hope he got the right one.
That seems like more of a college thing.
I don't know. I think some. Well, you went to a pretty good high school too, so I feel like your high school.
Actually, I think maybe they did do that in high school. But I think if we knew that teachers did that, it's not hard to figure out like which is which. Also, I would say
that's true.
Like he's not completely like an idiot where he can't even figure out one answer, I would hope. Or it's like,
Right.
Can you at least figure out which test this would be based off of what the answers are? Or you're still just like, "Oh, I have no idea. This could be anything.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
I think I also remember a lot of the ways that they would do the A and B's for my test, especially in like high school and maybe earlier in college, where there'd be a section where it would be like multiple choice or true and false, that kind of thing. And then usually there'd be a section at the end where there'd be a couple essay questions. And usually there'd be like maybe 4 options and you could choose 2.
Choose
or,
1 or 2,
Or they would just give you not everyone would get the same essay questions. That I've seen more than like a full test.
Did you ever hear about the story of the chemistry students? I forget what university this was, but they went out the night before their chemistry final. It was either chemistry or biology. I don't remember. Doesn't matter. They went out before their final, and obviously went way too ham and didn't make it to the final. So they all told the professor, we're so sorry we missed the final. We're on our way here and we blew a tire. And so he said, "Okay, have you heard this story before?" Well, I'm going to tell it anyways because our listeners maybe haven't heard it. So the professor says, "Okay, come in next week on Tuesday for your makeup exam." So they come in. He sits them all in the same room, but in like separate corners, I think, or maybe they were even in different rooms. But either way, the exam had 2 questions. First question was like some chemistry question. Then the second question on the next page was, which tire was it?
Oh, man. All right.
So as you can imagine, those guys all failed.
If we were in that situation...
What tire would you pick, Jared?
Let's just get our story straight. I'd say I would probably assume left because I'm left-handed, and I know you're also left-handed.
Yep. Left front, right? Or left
That's
rear?
what I was going to say.
Left front.
Okay. We're good.
All right.
We're good.
All right. We're good. Too bad we're not in school anymore, so this doesn't really matter. But speaking of cheating, though, Jared, it was really funny. So I was in Xi'an for a conference this weekend. And we'll talk about that a bit more later. But one of my colleagues mentioned they talked about cheating and like plagiarizing and stuff like that because that can be a problem in some universities in China if the students haven't been taught, how to like properly cite something and things like this. And so then my colleague asked her class, she was like, "Well, does anyone ever cheat on the Gaokao, which is like the huge college entrance exam?" Mm-hmm. And she said that all the students like simultaneously all like gasped and were like, and she said like, "Oh, does anyone ever cheat on the Gaokao?" And then the funny thing is she told me like later that one of her students approached her in her office hours and her student was like, "Teacher, I need to confess something. My best friend cheated on the Gaokao and he told me and I don't know what to do." And so we were talking about it and we were like, "Yep, like buddy, you're taking that one to the grave. If you still want to be friends with him, you're taking."
What are you gonna do?
Right.
That's hilarious. Who? Sorry, I've never met a person with such a conscience.
Right? No kidding. And this was probably like 3 or 4 years ago too.
All right, whatever.
Right. I also I don't know enough about the Gaokao. Right. I mean, personally, I don't know enough about the Gaokao to know like how you would even cheat on it. So I have no idea. Right. But like, crazy stuff.
Like,
that's really funny though.
I mean, how would you cheat unless you're doing some like Felicity Huffman level cheating? How would you cheat on like the SAT or something like that? Unless you're just like, I know now. I believe maybe there's a way to like get someone to take it on your behalf. I know that's probably possible. I don't know how.
I think that's happened before. Yeah.
I just got my own bad grades on my standardized tests.
you and me both. You and me both. What was that movie? There was a movie where they like went on a heist to like steal the SAT answers.
That's hilarious. I mean, I've seen that in a lot of cartoons.
Right.
There's always that like episode where I think there was a Drake and Josh episode where that happened.
That sounds like something you'd see in Drake and Josh for sure. Oh, that's funny.
Anyway,
that's too funny.
Do you want to spread a little love?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm going to assume you're not a fan of boxes on students' heads.
I mean, that wouldn't be my first choice. Definitely not. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely not.
This seems like too much work once again.
That's also true. Yeah, well, I'll tell you about that later. Anyways, my first shout out goes out to 2 people. One is Jalen Garcia, who is currently a teen battling cancer at the MD Anderson Children's Cancer Hospital in Houston. And the other person my shout out goes to is Carlos Correa, I guess is probably the proper way to say it. So here's the story, Jared. So baseball player Carlos Correa met him at the hospital, met a terminally ill fan at the hospital and told him, the next home run I hit will be for you. When you see me pointing, I'll be pointing at you. The next night, he hit the game-winning home run to defeat the New York Yankees in Game 2 of the American League Championship Series. Correa made a promise to Jalen Garcia, a young teen battling cancer at MD, like I said. Garcia
risk.
is Garcia is a student at United High School, the former school of Correa's fiancée, Daniela Rodriguez.
Fiancé.
So
that's how you say it.
Fiance. Sorry, fiance. My bad. But yeah, anyway, so I think that's really
Very
touching.
Michigan.
One that he made a visit to Jalen Garcia, and we wish you all the best, Jalen. Keep fighting. We send our support. And,
you betcha. Yeah.
So
that would make me so nervous to make a promise like that. I mean,
Right.
getting a home run's not easy, and it's not like
No,
something that
definitely
happens
not.
every game.
Right. Yeah. But, sometimes maybe that extra, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it would work in two ways. Either it'd be a ton of pressure on you and it would cause you to choke, or it would motivate you.
Motivates you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one or the other.
I get that.
All right. Yeah. So my next shout out goes out to what they call the clean energy pioneer, which is Juliet Davenport. So she has pioneered a new way of powering homes when she founded Good Energy 20 years ago. Now she's at the forefront of business leaders proving that companies can do right by the planet as well as their shareholders. So what's really amazing is that Juliet Davenport, I believe she was I'm trying to find it right now. She started as an Oxford physics undergrad, and she said, you can't study atmospheric physics without covering climate change, and that was my early awakening. I researched green energy sources and looked at what the opportunities were. My instinct was to go direct to consumers rather than lobbying government. Today, it's a different story. The company buys power from 1,500 independently owned generators on top of 2 wind and 6 solar farms that it owns. It also has the UK's largest feed-in tariff customer bases with more than 160,000 homes that receive a financial incentive for the renewable electricity they generate, often via solar panels on their roofs. So I think this is really amazing, and a big shout out to Juliet Davenport for starting something so long ago, sticking with it, and hopefully providing us with a greener earth. And I don't know if you remember this, Jared, but it was either the previous episode or the one before that where I mentioned the UK has now had the highest amount of green energy fuel, has overtaken fossil fuels. I can't talk today. That's what happens when you spend 7 hours on a train, Jared. But yeah. So those are my shout outs for today. Do you have any shout outs for us?
Shout out to Chad for being such a great teacher, not cheater.
Oh my God. Oh, this podcast is going to get me fired. Oh,
Definitely
God.
meant to say teacher. Oh, that's crazy. This is for the untranslatable, by the way. Teacher and cheater, those are, that's not an anagram, but like if you rearrange
That's an
it, you
anagram.
could spell.
That's an
yeah,
anagram.
you could spell cheater with teacher.
You're right. That's pretty crazy, isn't it? You learn something new every day, Jared.
That was really a big moment for my brain right there. Chad's a great
that's funny.
teacher, not cheater. My first untranslatable is Haitian Creole, and it is Creole, parle, Creole, comprendre. I think you might actually be able to figure that out.
Say it one more time.
Creole, parle, Creole, comprendre. Now think in French, to speak is parler.
Oh, to speak
And-
speak Creole.
Comprendre. What does that sound like?
complain?
Comprendo, maybe.
Oh, okay. So to speak Creole is to understand Creole. Yeah.
Yes.
Is that as clear as I think it should be?
You tell me, Chad. I don't think it is. I don't think you're gonna get it.
Okay. Well,
On the first go, at least.
So speak Creole, understand Creole. Well, I think this is kind of like you gotta, I don't know how to say it. I want to say walk the walk to talk the talk, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's not really it. That's not really
Okay.
it. It's
Give me a
more
clue.
like, say, I know some secret, about you, but I want to tell you, but I'm not supposed to tell you.
Okay.
And I'm talking to you. We're from Haiti, so I'm speaking Creole.
Okay.
And I'm like, listen, bro. I was like, you're a really great guy. I love you, and sometimes things get tough in life, and I want to be there to be able to tell you these things, but it's hard, and I just wanted to remind you that I love you, and you'd be like, hey, Jared, speak Creole, understand Creole.
So is that like spit it out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't try to
All right.
complicate things. Get straight to the point.
Yeah. Don't beat around the bush, as we might say.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
our untranslatable.
All right. Nice. All right. Well, I have 2 Chinese ones for you today, Jared. My first one is, all right. I always have to do this with my hand with the tones.
Yes.
I still mess up the tones anyways, but here we go. Chu Fai Tai Yang Kon Chi Ban Chu Lai, which means when the sun rises from the west.
Oh, when pigs fly.
Very good. Very, very good.
Yeah.
That was too
'cause
easy for you.
The sun
All right.
rises from the east, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct. Very good.
Thank you. So my next one isn't... See, it's Spanish, and it isn't untranslatable, I guess. But the reason I chose it is not because I can really properly translate it, but because it has 2 very different meanings in Venezuela and
Okay.
Colombia.
Okay.
And the
Muy bien.
phrase is estar derecho. And I'll tell you what it means in Venezuela, because I think that's the most basic translation of
Okay.
it. And that's
Okay.
to be mad at someone. Estar derecho. In Venezuela,
Okay.
you'd be saying to be mad at someone. But be careful if you then go to Colombia, because it would mean something a little different.
Really? Okay. What does it mean in Colombia? Are you allowed to tell me?
Am I allowed to tell you? What is... Sorry, I just brought it up that it's interesting that happens. Legally, I'm not allowed to tell you what it is, but I just thought it was an interesting fun fact that it does mean something different. It means to be horny.
Okay. I was gonna guess that, but I didn't want to.
Why didn't you?
Okay. Because I figured if I was wrong, you would be like, "What is
That'd be
wrong with you? Why
hilarious.
would you think that?"
I probably would still say that even though that is the right answer, I would still be like, "Come on, Chad,
Right? Get your
This is a
mind out of
family
the gutter.
podcast.
Right. Exactly.
You're embarrassing."
Exactly. So what's the untranslated? So it just means you're mad or you're horny, right?
Yeah, sorry, it's not. It isn't untranslated. There's not really a direct translation. Sorry, I just like that.
Okay.
Okay, it
That's
was
a cool
bad
one. No, I like that. That's cool.
No, you're right.
That's cool.
I'll cut this out.
No, you're good. Leave it in. That's really good. All right. My last one for you is Chinese. And it is Shui Neng Zai Zhou Yi Neng Fu Zhou, which means water can carry the boat and also overturn the boat.
It's like, don't get on someone's bad side. They'll turn on you.
I mean, you're not wrong. I'll give you a clue. This might be too
You won't
easy.
like me when I'm angry, kind of thing.
Nope. Our untranslatable equivalent of this one in English has to do with a sword.
That was a double-edged sword.
There we go. Yeah, that was too easy. But yeah, double-edged sword.
Okay.
Right? Because the water that moves the ship can also sink the ship. And this was actually
Yes.
apparently
Interesting.
a quote by Confucius. A little fun
okay.
fact for you, Jared. Mhm.
Okay. I have one more translatable to make up for that blunder that I just did. And it is Romanian, and it's face din lahat bici. And it means made a whip out of shit.
Wait, can you say that one more time?
Made a whip out of shit.
Made a whip out of shit?
Yeah. Whoopah.
Is that like to
Friends
make
reference.
Is that like to make something out of nothing?
Very good.
Ooh, all right.
Do so much with so little, or make something out of nothing.
All right, I like that.
Very good, Chad.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah. You made
Jared,
not something out of nothing, but you made something out of yourself this weekend.
That's true. I tried.
So, should we start by talking about the academic part, and then we'll talk about the what you did in your free time?
Sure.
So, can you? What was the focus of your presentations this week? So hold on. Just to be clear, you're teaching English in China, but part of your gig is to go to different locations around China. Or last time you went, last one was in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. Check that out, and give presentations on various educational related topics that you submitted before you got there.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And this one, this time you chose. Last one was music and teaching and games. Was it as well?
Just music.
Just music. Okay. And this one is.
This one was games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think my presentation, if I remember correctly, the title was "Game On," games for what was it? Games for different language skills in the English classroom, or something along those lines. And so I presented 6 or 7 games. The first one was, let me try to think back. I should know this because I presented it yesterday.
This sounds like a great presentation already.
Well, here was the crazy thing, though, buddy, is the technology wasn't working. The cable, the VGA cable, wasn't working. Well, the weird thing was, so if we put the PowerPoint on like slideshow mode, the screen would go black. Like not the computer screen, but the like projector screen would go black. So what we had to do is like just make the PowerPoint window big, and then a colleague of mine like scrolled through the different slides for us.
Now I feel like I know what the problem was. I feel like you didn't like if you duplicated your screen, that wouldn't have happened. You know what I mean?
We tried that. Trust me, we tried every trick in the book.
Extending it.
Yep.
You know what the main problem is? You guys are using a VGA cord. It's 2019. Move on to the HDMI, please.
Hey,
that
we're
would
in
probably
China,
solve
buddy.
your problems.
We're in China.
They don't have HDMI in
places.
China.
I mean, they do, but most places I see still are using VGA.
You gotta screw it in.
So exactly. Well, here I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'm actually going to pull up. I'm going to take a quick look at my, as they say here in China, my
That's
PPT.
Just being prepared for our podcast
for a presentation.
Chad.
That's true. But yeah, so I presented about 6 different games. The majority of the games were speaking games, speaking and listening, to get the students talking. However, I did show. Well, first of all, Jared,
focus? Sorry. Was there a focus on age range that you were focusing on, like as far as
college
who the games
students.
would be played to?
College students, because the majority of our audience were college professors, actually.
Okay.
So there were about 30 audience members there from various different universities in Xi'an. There were actually two professors I met from the University of Qingdao. And Qingdao is where they have that the famous Chinese beer. That's actually in my province, so eventually I'm hoping to get out there. But anyway, so the 7 games, though, that I presented, Jared. Number 1 is called Find Someone Who, where the students are given sentences, and they need to go mingle amongst each other and find someone who the sentence is true for. So, for example, the sentences I had were, find someone who can eat over 20 dumplings. Find someone who has a cute picture of a puppy or a kitten on their smartphone. Find someone who knows a funny joke in English. Find someone who can draw or paint. Find someone who has a sibling. And so I explained these games and demonstrated them, and I had the teachers play them. And so it was really fun to watch them mingle with each other. And guess what the joke was, Jared?
I have no idea what the joke was, Chad.
Why was 6 afraid of 7?
Ooh, that's a classic. Now, please, I'm not going to ruin it. Why, Chad?
Because 7, 8, 9. So that was the first game we talked about, and I explained like ways you can modify it. You can add more sentences, you can add less, you can give them less time so they have to really be quick. You can give them more time so they have to discuss more with each other. There's a lot of different things you can adapt. The next game we played. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just like, so you're there, you're giving a presentation. You're not the only person there presenting. Like they do multiple presentations throughout the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
There were
so
probably...
you're also kind of presenting to the other Americans there too.
Correct. Yeah, and I learned a lot from my colleagues' presentations as well.
That was going to be my next question. Is it boring listening to everyone else's presentation?
No, it was great. I'm always so excited to go to these because there's so much I can learn from my colleagues. So then the next game we played is called Who or What Am I? And you know this game, Jared. It's where you would take like a slip of paper, you write, you don't write, but one of your classmates writes it, and you hold it up over your forehead.
Oh, and, right, from the office.
Say something. Right. And so then you have to like walk around and ask, am I dead or alive? Am I American? Am I Chinese? Whatever.
Do I like fried chicken?
Oh God, that Office episode is so. That would never work nowadays. That would never work. But yeah, and so once again, the teachers played this.
Jokes that they made it. So I just made on my own. But everyone that floats in my head, I'm like, nope, not going to say that.
Right? Exactly. So that was another good one. Then we played the game called the Hot Seat. And so the way the Hot Seat works is you have a student come up and have another student write a word on the board. It can be a vocabulary word. It can be really anything they want, as long as it's in English, right? And so I demonstrated, and my colleague came up, and she wrote a word on like the flip chart, and you're not allowed to see it. Then you ask yes, no questions. So it's very similar to the other game. The only difference is that like the one student is responsible for being up there by themselves asking questions, whereas the other game, it's more interactive, I guess.
Less on the spot.
Correct. Then I showed them Mad Libs. And for our listeners out there that don't know what Mad Libs are, it's where you write in random fill-in-the-blank words, parts of speech, adjectives, nouns, verbs, whatever. And so and then you read the story. So Jared, we're gonna write this story together right now. We'll do a quick little Mad Libs for all of our listeners out here. So, all right, Jared. So give me an adjective.
Scary.
Okay, good. Give me another adjective.
Hungry. Is that an adjective,
Okay.
hungry?
Yes, hungry is an adjective. Yeah.
Okay.
Give me a type of bird. Any bird.
Owl.
Okay. Give me a room in a house.
Study. The study.
The study. Okay. You're a very academic gentleman, Jared. I can respect that. I need a past tense verb, Jared.
Scurried.
Ooh, that's a good one.
No. I don't like that.
Okay.
Fine, we can use scurried. We'll use scurried. I don't really like it, though.
All right. Well, all right. Okay, another verb.
To smell.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, a relative's name. And this could be like a specific name or like uncle, aunt, whatever. Aunt, as Jared would say.
Uncle Cletus.
Okay. Whenever I hear the word Cletus, I think of The Simpsons and the redneck Cletus. Okay, good. A noun?
A sandwich.
Okay, good. Okay, let's see here. A couple more here. A liquid.
Bekarovka.
Oh, good choice. Becharovka. Okay.
Svichkova's the food, isn't it?
Yes. Slivovica, though, is the plum brandy. But we can
that's
stick
what we
with
had at
Becherovka.
Republika.
Yeah, Slivovica. You want me to change it to Slivovica?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Slivovica. Okay, Slivovica. Shout out to all of our Czech listeners out there. Need a verb ending in ing, Jared.
Sniffing.
Okay. Sir, is there something smelly in your house right now, buddy? What's going on? All right. Okay. Now I need a body part. Body part, but plural. Plural body part.
Toes.
Okay, good. And a plural noun.
Cars.
Okay. Verb ending in ing.
Drinking.
And one more noun.
Soap.
Soap? Mm-hmm. Okay, here we go. It was a scary cold November day. I woke up to the hungry smell of owl roasting in the study downstairs. I scurried down the stairs. That's why I thought that would be a good one. Yeah, I scurried down the stairs to see if I could help smell the dinner. My mom said, see if Uncle Cletus needs a fresh sandwich. So I carried a tray of glasses full of Slivovica into the sniffing room. When I got there, I couldn't. Yeah. When I got there, I couldn't believe my toes. There were cars drinking on the soap.
That was soap kind of ruined it at the end, but that was not bad.
So here, I'll read it one more time. So here we go. It was a scary cold November day. I woke up to the hungry smell of owl roasting in the study downstairs. I scurried down the stairs to see if I could help smell the dinner. My mom said, see if Uncle Cletus needs a fresh sandwich. So I carried a tray of glasses full of Slivovica into the sniffing room. When I got there, I couldn't believe my toes. There were cars drinking on the soap.
Cars drinking on the soap.
On the soap.
Meet me in my sniffing room, right next to the study.
Right? Oh, man. But yeah, so we did Mad Libs, so the teacher seemed to enjoy that. But I made a big mistake in my presentation, and I forgot to tell them that the goal here is not to read the story and write what makes sense, but just read if it says adjective, just write an adjective. Like, it should be quick. So
adjective, they
noun,
read through
whatever.
the story and said fill it in with something. Yeah. Oh, but you just told them to do them. You didn't tell them how to do them properly.
Exactly. So that was my bad. But then thankfully a couple of my other colleagues were like, no, like you're not supposed to read it and write. Like the fun in it is just writing random words.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good story for random. I used to do those in the car all the time as a kid.
It worked really well until the last sentence about cars.
The last line. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we used to
next game, though,
do them at school.
Go ahead, Jared.
That's all I'll say. We used to do them at school.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. They are so much fun.
I can't imagine.
And there's a bunch of websites
playing those with me though. As a kid,
what?
I said I couldn't imagine that being something I'd do on a road trip. Oh, you said you used to do them by yourself though. You said. Now that I think about it.
Yeah. And I'd read them in the car, and usually my mom would crack up. My dad would just shake his head. But yeah. Anyways,
your mom was just humoring you because she's a good
probably.
Mother.
She is. So the next game though that I explained was Scattergories, where you basically. So what I do in my English classes with it is I come up with like 5 to 8 categories. So like a country, maybe something big, something small, a food, a famous person. You could also be more specific, like fruits, vegetables, beverages, whatever. And then you pick a letter in the alphabet, so A, B, C, whatever. And then you give them an allotted time, so 1 minute, 2 minutes, whatever, and then you have them try to write down words. Then they compare their words with their classmates, and if they don't have any of the same words, they get points. If they have the same words, they have to cross them out, and they don't earn any points. So the key here is to be unique and creative. So that was a fun one.
It is a fun game. I like that game a lot.
Well, Jared, let's do a quick round. Let's do a quick round of Scattergories. Okay. So we'll just do 4 categories. So the 4 categories will be country, a country, a food, a famous person, and like free time activities like hobby or whatever. Okay. All right.
Wait.
Can you set a time? Yeah, go ahead.
So we're gonna go through all of those, all 4 of those.
So, well, the way it'll work is we're going to challenge ourselves. All right, we'll do 20 seconds because we don't want our listeners to be too bored. So we'll do 20 seconds, and the goal is that I'll give us a letter, and I'll just do a random one because if I think of it now, it'll be cheating. So I'll do a random one. Jared's got to trust me on this. This is really testing our friendship here. So the 4 categories, once again, Jared, are a country.
Perfect. Thank you.
Oh my God. That is perfect. So a country, or did I say a country, a food, a famous person, and free time activity like hobbies.
Okay.
All right. So are you ready, Jared? Are you ready for me to give you a letter? And we're going to put 20 seconds on the clock, and we'll compare what we have.
One for each of those.
Yes. It has to start with the letter, ideally.
All right, hold on. Give me the categories again. All right, now I feel
like categories are... Categories, I know, I have it written down. Categories are food.
Food.
Country is number 2.
Country.
Famous people. I love this music. Famous people. And 4 is like hobbies or free time activities.
All right, I got it.
All right, we ready?
You want 20 seconds?
20 seconds on the clock.
Okay.
You ready for me to tell you the letter?
Yes.
The letter is T. Go. Oh crap. Are we out of time?
Oh, it's 5 seconds. Oh God. Okay. Time's up.
All right.
I
only got 3 of them.
I didn't get a country or a person.
Okay. All right. So I have, for my food, Jared, my food is turnip.
Okay. I have tofu.
Okay. So we both get 1 point. Oh, tofu is a good one. That's a good one. My country is Turkey.
Okay. I didn't get a country.
So that's one point for me. My famous person is Travis Scott.
Oh.
He's a rapper.
That's good.
That's 1 point. And do you have any hobbies that start with T?
Trapeze.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's my
okay,
hobby.
let's do one more round. All right. Yeah, get that music ready. All right. Well, here, Jared, I picked the first letter. How about you pick the next letter?
Okay. Let's do W.
Oh, all right. You got the clock ready?
Yes, and go.
All right. Okay.
We're still playing, people. We're still playing. And stop.
That was a tough one. All right. So what do you got for food, Jared?
Watermelon.
Okay, I got Wiener Schnitzel.
Okay. What do you have for country?
I have Wales, which is probably also what you have.
I don't have anything.
Do you have Wales?
I don't have anything.
Ooh, all right.
I almost put Washington, and I was like, I don't think that counts.
Right.
Famous person?
Famous person? I said Will Smith.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Ooh, nice. Nice. That was fun. Couldn't think of any hobbies, though. Let's start with W.
Water surfing.
Oh, nice. What is it? Nice.
I had water on the mind.
Okay, no kidding.
I almost put water as a food, but then I was like, I don't know if that's how that works.
Not quite. No, but
So,
watermelon works. But yeah. Anyway, so that's Scattergories. It's a lot of fun.
That was fun.
Good call on the game, Jared. All right, my last 2 games though were 2 truths and 1 lie. So you know what, Jared, we're already doing this, so we might as well play it. So we're playing all these. We can do them quick anyways. All right, so I'm going to give you my 2 truths and a lie, Jared. I'm going to modify mine because you know me too well. All right. Truth number 1, or sentence number 1. I started playing guitar at the age of 11.
Mm-hmm.
The last time I was clean shaven was 2013. And let's see here. And I've been in China for over 1 month now.
Okay. Well, you have been in China for over 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
The last time you shaved was when, did you say?
2013.
Oh.
Clean shaven.
Oh. No, that's the lie. There's no way it's been that long.
Are you sure?
Yes, that's my final answer.
You're wrong.
Really?
Last time I was clean shaven was February of 2013.
How do you remember that so specifically?
Because it was the last time I was clean shaven. I don't know. I got my hair cut and then I got...
And it was like 2 weeks ago. Did you... So when did you... Oh, you started at 10? Is that what it is?
10 instead of 11.
Okay. Okay.
Devil's in the details, Jared.
Yes.
All right, give me your 2 truths and 1 lie.
Okay. I've lived in 3 different states in my life. I was trying to think of my truth and lies as I was about to start saying them.
Yeah.
I've lived in 3 different states in my life. I've played 2 different instruments in band, and I jeez, this is so hard. Oh, and I lived in Philadelphia for 4 years.
Oh. I know you played trumpet.
Mm-hmm.
Did you also do percussion, or am I crazy?
No, those are 2 different questions. No.
That is true.
Am I supposed to tell you the answer to these things?
I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go with that's your lie.
No.
Am I right?
No, I played percussion for a year in band, 6th grade, and then I moved.
See, okay, I thought you did. Okay,
trumpet. I lived in technically really only 2 states. I was born in Texas, and then I moved to Michigan.
What about Philly?
Oh shit.
That's Pennsylvania.
I fucked
and
up.
Then you also lived in Colorado for a little while.
Oh, does that count?
What define live?
Okay.
Reside in...
that's still the lie either way. Either way, that's still the lie.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
So no, I didn't mess it up, but that was still...
Right. But yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so that was the game. And then the last game we played... It's a fun party game, though.
On the fly. It is. I'm just bad at... It's easier with someone maybe also you don't know.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. And the last game, though, we played, Jared, is Never Have I Ever. But I've modified it to the sentences, I have never.
Oh, okay. So,
I
it's
have
grammatically
never.
correct?
Right, because Never Have I Ever is confusing to English learners. And that was also fun to watch.
And even when I played that game in like college, people would be like, oh, wait, so... Does that mean if I put my hand out that I did do it or that I didn't do it?
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Did it turn how most of the games in college turned?
I don't think so, because these were all mature, professional teachers, so no. No. But anyway, so that's why I was in Xi'an, to give a conference and talk about games. There were some other really amazing talks about accent reduction, about making writing fun, about multiple intelligences, about reading annotation. It was really great, and the teachers were a pleasure to work with. And Xi'an is an amazing city, so I think now we should discuss a little bit of Xi'an.
Do yours tend to be the most interactive presentations?
I don't know if I would necessarily say interactive. I would say that I try to make mine be very discussion based and like have the teachers do what I'm presenting, because that's a good way to learn. I mean, learning by doing is always fantastic. But I mean, my colleagues also had some really interactive ones where, we had to write some poems, which was really cool. We had to annotate a short story. So I would definitely say no. I would just say mine tend to be more speaking, listening interactive, but there were still very interactive presentations. Yeah. Good question, though. Very good question.
Do you ever like compare yourself against the others at the end of the week and be like, mine, like who was the best?
Not really, because they're all so different. It would be comparing apples to oranges.
I just wanted to see if you'd have a moment of weakness and be like, yeah, and I really killed it or something. But no, it's just a normal old Chad. How was
sorry to burst your bubble, buddy.
Was the trip to Xi'an, is that how you say it?
Xi'an.
Was it similar to the Ulaanbaatar trip where there were like a group of you and you guys sort of did activities together?
Somewhat, yeah. So we all got in at separate times. I left Jinan I left for the train station at like 7 in the morning, somewhere around there. And then I got to Xi'an around like 3 something. So it was weird. My train there had less stops, so it was about a 5.5 hour train ride. Today, however, my train ride back to Jinan from Xi'an was 7 hours. So it was a long train ride today.
That's tough.
And the ride there, I was in first class.
Here, like from the U.S. to Europe in that time.
On a plane, yeah. But yeah, and I rode there in first class because there were still first class seats available. And, my work covers all the travel expenses. But on the way back, there were no first class seats. So I was in second class with the peasants. No, I'm just kidding. But like the seats are definitely way less comfortable. The seats are way less comfortable. There's not nearly as much luggage room. I mean, I didn't have very much luggage anyways because I was just there for a couple of days. So I had like my backpack with my
like that.
I haven't tried because I've been using the hotspot on my phone because I have unlimited data here. So, but
have you still not gotten a router at your home?
Not yet. Nope. That's a story for after the pod. Tuesday.
Jesus Christ, Chad.
When in China, man, you gotta be patient. China, I told Jared and maybe I told all of you coming here was going to test my patience, and I can already tell you I have become so much more patient while being here. I have no choice.
Well,
it's either I'm patient,
I'm annoyed.
Right? You can be annoyed for me, Jared. I'll just try to keep my chi and keep patient. But the travel there was good. We stayed at the ShangriLa Hotel, which just humor me, Jared, and just Google ShangriLa Hotel Xi'an and see what pops up.
Okay.
But while you're doing that, kind of a funny story. So I get in the train station and I go to get in a cab to go to the hotel, right? And my colleague sends me the address in the Chinese characters of the hotel. And I get in, I show the cab driver the characters, and I say ShangriLa. It's a 5-star hotel. Yeah, I felt like I was a baller while I was there.
I'm looking at the lounge area with the palm trees.
It's super nice.
And the giant chandelier.
They had different people playing guitar and piano and singing throughout the day, just like in their little lounge area. Yeah, it was classy. The girl that was playing Für Elise though by Beethoven could work on her connection a little bit. There were a couple choppy bits, but anyways,
a little more legato.
Yeah.
Did you had a room to yourself?
I did. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Had my own room.
What kind of weird stuff?
Took a bath.
Ooh.
Took a bath, which was great.
I love taking baths, and I took a bath yesterday, and had it all set up, and I was pouring the water, and I was putting the water in, and I sat down, and I was like, oh, this is gross. And I just, after it was like halfway filled, I just took all the water out and took a shower. It really grossed me out for some reason. I don't know why. But it wasn't hotel clean, that's for sure. Anyway, you took a bath. Sorry.
You're good.
This reminded me of my sad experience last night.
Right. Yeah, this hotel was spotless, though. It was really nice. Had I have known, I would have brought my swimsuit. They had a pool.
Ooh, yes.
But anyway, so what did we do? So Friday we went to this really cool, like Chinese, I guess food court is the best way to call it. Basically, they had a bunch of different stands, and it was pretty big. And I wanted to try, like, Xi'an is well known for a lot of amazing food. And one of my students, before I left for Xi'an, she gave me some recommendations. And they have a soup there that is mutton, which is lamb, with pita bread. And oh my God, it was so good, dude. Like, I literally stirred the soup, and this is how tender the lamb meat was. I stirred the soup, and the lamb literally fell apart.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it was so good.
It's Yangru Palmo lemon pita soup.
There you go. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah, and they had put some garlic in there and some spices, and it was delicious. Really, really good.
Ooh. Sorry, I had a list up earlier of like some of the best foods in Xi'an, and so I was seeing.
And that's one of them. Should be on there because it's a good one.
I did hear that they were like they are very known for their cuisine.
Yep.
So do you, that was the first thing you had. You said. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, that was Friday.
Okay.
You're good. So that was Friday. So afterwards, though, I had to still. I hate admitting this, but I had so much grading to do that my Friday night in Xi'an was consisted of me grading and just going over my presentation one more time for the workshop.
Wow, that's very responsible of you, Chad.
Right. It was tough though. But I forgot after dinner. Not really, but I did forget. After dinner, though, I did go out with a few colleagues and we got ice cream. Because one of my colleagues, their student, said you have to go to this ice cream place. They have this big mall. They call it Momo Park, Xi'an. And I forget the name of the ice cream place, but I had sea salt caramel and chocolate orange peel was the other flavor, and it was delicious. And the chocolate orange peel, sea salt caramel.
Sea salt caramel. Oh, that's always a crowd pleaser. I love that. That's one of my favorites.
Yep. Oh yeah, can't go wrong with that. But yeah, so we had ice cream and then we went back. And then so I had to prep for the next day, and I still have about 50 assignments that still need to be graded because I have over 150 students. So, so I'm debating now like how much homework I should be giving. The funny thing was when I was first writing the syllabus, I wanted to give them 10 homework assignments. And then I was like, and then I walked into my first day of class and I saw 40 some students looking up at me, and I'm like, nope, we are not doing 10. And when I initially told them we were going to do 10 homework assignments, they were just like what? Like,
is that a lot for them too?
Yeah. They're pretty busy. They have a lot of classes. But yeah, so that was Friday night. Saturday morning, I was actually the first presentation in the morning. It's weird. At all these events, I'm either first or I'm last. I don't know if that means they like my energy or what that means.
I think that does mean they either got to start with you to get the crowd going or end with you at end on a high note. That's probably because you're the best. That's what I'm going to
I don't know, but I'll take it.
Does everyone else have over 100 episodes of podcasts that they could use as talking training?
Probably not. Probably not. But I did find out there is another English language fellow that does a podcast.
We got to.
So I'll try to figure. There we go. There can only be one. But yeah,
maybe we can do some sort of collaboration.
That'd be cool. That would be cool. But yeah, so anyway, so then we were in the hotel giving presentations from 9 a.m. until we got done around 5:30. And then I would have been cool like trying some more like Xi'an cuisine, but most of my colleagues, there's this really famous pizza place called Tube Station. And I kid you not, Jared, they have pizzas they're gigantic. They are like, I forget how big they were, but they are easily like a large pizza in America. Take that and like, not double it, but it was huge.
Okay.
It was gigantic. Like when you opened up the menu, they had 3 circles on the menu, and those circles were the sizes of the pizza.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So like imagine you have this big paper menu that you open up.
So it's like a pop-up menu.
Well, no, like you just open it.
Oh, okay.
It's not a pop-up. That would be sweet. No, it's just paper, but you open it and you see the circles. Okay. Yeah. And so got pizza, which was great. Yeah.
Very nice
so we
website.
got what did we get now? The Tube Station Deluxe or something like that, which had pepperoni. First time I've had actually pepperoni pizza in China, not salami. So that was cool.
Okay, so when you say pepperoni, like
I mean
what we would
American
call
pepperoni. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah, green peppers, black olives, I think mushrooms, and ground beef. But it was really, really good. Had a couple brews with it. And then after that, I was exhausted.
Special is what you mean.
Thank you.
It's
yes.
pepperoni, salami, ground pork, onions, green peppers, mushroom, black olives, and mozzarella.
There we go. There we go. So yeah, so had that, and then I was exhausted. So I went back and took a bath and graded for about an hour, and then I went to sleep. So I really did not do much of any sightseeing in Xi'an, which was a point that I wanted to make on this episode because I'm hoping we'll do an On the Road Again Xi'an part 2. Part 2.
I'm down with that. I would love that. Could we then turn this slightly into a little bit of a travel tips then? And I want to give you some recommendations.
Sure.
So first I have some fun facts about Xi'an. And I'm almost
Can I give you a couple fun facts?
Please.
Because I learned these while I was there.
Are you going to give me fun facts about the ShangriLa Hotel?
I am. That's what they all
steam
are.
Room
it was established at yeah, right. All right. So Xi'an Xi'an. If you are a history buff, is one of the best places to visit in China because there have been, I believe, 13 different dynasties or dynasties. If you're British, I think that's how they say it, right? Some of the biggest ones have been the Qin dynasty, the Han dynasty, the Sui dynasty, and the Tang dynasty. And as we mentioned, Xi'an is very well known for a lot of great food. And Xi'an was the beginning of the Silk Road, way back in ancient times. And it's
what is
become
the Silk Road?
That was where they had like the trading road from the east and the west, where they traded silk and spices and
that shady website from like the early 2000s. Right. I only ever heard of it, and I was like, is this a real thing? Like, no, people actually do.
Right. But yeah, and so Xi'an's famous for the terracotta warriors, which is considered the 8th wonder of the world. So Xi'an's famous for that. Actually, I'm going to send Jared a picture right now. They had terracotta warriors all over the hotel. And
those are just replicas, though, right?
Well, yeah, of course.
Okay.
But your boy, of course,
got a selfie with
had
one?
had to do a terracotta warrior pose with the warrior. So I'm sending it to you right now, Jared. Oh, if I can spell your name correctly. There we go. All right, coming your way, buddy. So check that out. But yeah, so they had these the warriors all around the hotel, so that was pretty cool.
I love it. Sorry, I'm looking at the
So that was pretty cool. And that's considered the 8th wonder of the world, the terracotta warriors. But it's like an hour by bus outside of the city. So you have to really plan for it. The other thing is they call it the Goose Pagoda. The Goose Pagoda is like a big Buddhist temple, and it's supposed to be really amazing. So these are some of those two things are some sites that I want to see when I go back. And I am really planning on going back. And I'm hoping to plan my trip in enough advance so I have a 5-hour train ride both ways in first class instead of a 5-hour and then a 7-hour. So yeah.
So did you you enjoyed what you saw, like the aesthetic of the city? Mm-hmm. Can you explain that a little bit in comparison, maybe to Jinan, which I guess is the city you know the best?
Right. So the aesthetic. Now it's also needs to be mentioned that the majority of the aesthetic of what I saw was during the evening, right? But I love China at night. I love China at night. Just there's so much. They just light everything up. Like you see all these pretty colors, and you see like the buildings are lit. When I was taking the cab from the train station back home tonight, like I saw so many apartment complexes with like really awesome lighting, and you could see like the kind of more Asian style arches on the tops of the buildings and stuff. But the aesthetic of the city was great. I will tell you this though, I've spent time in Beijing. I've spent time obviously in Jinan. Xi'an, as I mentioned, is the capital of the Shanxi province. So Jinan is the capital of my province in Shandong, and Beijing is the capital of that province. And I have to say, out of all three of them, I actually think Xi'an was the most like condensed, like the most like just big crowds of people in one spot. Maybe it's because when I stay in Beijing, I don't travel usually during like busy times, and I don't know if I was just out and about during busy times, but the traffic was crazy. We took the subway, which was also a cool experience, but that was also pretty crammed.
You know, I was going to say, though, they say you can travel in Xi'an very easily. Unlike the rural but beautiful regions in China, Xi'an has one of the most advanced transportation systems in the country. Xianyang International Airport is the largest airport in the... that doesn't matter to you. Largest airport in the Northwest. You can travel to Xi'an easily. Xi'an transportation is also convenient. The subway can help you reach almost all of the attractions in the city. And the high-speed rail, very important to you, operates trains that can transfer you to the most popular destinations.
Yeah, it was a cool city, and I definitely want to go back. There's just so much more about history that I'd like to learn. There are over 7 million inhabitants in Xi'an, so that's kind of cool. Like I said, the cuisine is fantastic. Yeah.
Cool. I would recommend definitely going back and giving us your full sort of rundown. Another thing about Xi'an is that it's a very, very big with museums. It's a museum-heavy city, which you seem like you'd be into. There's, as you mentioned, obviously, there's a terracotta museum. The Big Wild Goose Pagoda. That's not a museum, though.
No, that's just a pagoda. It's a Buddhist temple.
There's the Han Yang Ling Museum, another pit stop for fans of ancient clay figures. And then there's also a mountain you can climb. So you can do some hiking if you wanted to. Mount Huashan. Have you heard of it?
Don't look at... I have not, no.
Okay.
And there's also another important site in Xi'an is the city wall.
Yes.
City wall is supposed to be very beautiful.
What's up with China and walls?
Why do I keep your places safe, man?
I mean, it's just
like a lot of old
security things from like ancient sort of security methods. Oh, okay.
I mean, it's the same. It's the same in Europe. A lot of old German, Austrian. I even know of some Czech places. They'd have walls.
Yeah. I've actually been to a place like that in France, where it was like this big sort of walled-in city. It was very cool, but very tough to maneuver through. Easy to get lost, also.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. I'm interested to hear about this, Chad. But for now, let's talk about some songs of the pod.
Let's do
song
it.
Of the pod, not songs of the pod.
Right. We got a new one tonight called "Night" by Pompeia, which is by a Russian group that I really, really like.
Oh, they're Russian. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, and they're great. I really like. They have like a lot of different genres. Right. They have a lot of different genres they mix in. They have some stuff in Russian. This is just one of my favorites from them, and it's really great. But what are your thoughts on it, Jared?
It's like what would you call it? Like indie pop rock kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
It's good. I can't think of like the name, but I can definitely place it. Like if I were to hear like maybe not a Death Cab for Cutie, or maybe like a MGMT kind of almost similar to something like that.
Are they the ones that wrote Electric Feel?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, then I would definitely agree with that.
Okay. Yeah, that's the vibe I get, and I like that vibe. So I enjoyed it. And the song this song "Night" is in English. I didn't even realize. I didn't do any research. I listened to the song a few times, but I didn't do any research into the band, so I didn't even realize that they were Russian. I thought maybe they were just British or something.
Nope.
But yeah, I liked it a lot. It was very chill, great chill vibes, bro.
For sure. So check out our YouTube channel, Untranslatable Podcast.
You betcha.
For our song of the pod, "Night" by Pompeia. Yeah, really cool song. You'll definitely be in a good mood if you hear that.
How'd you hear about it?
Sure.
Did David tell you about it?
David did not. I met an amazing girl in Beijing who's Russian, and she showed me the song. So yeah.
Okay.
She's great, but Jared and I will talk about that off the pod. Anyways, so let's see here. Unfortunately, I don't have any jokes. Oh, but so China. So we need to talk about Chinese word of the pod. And mine today, Jared, is a phrase.
Okay.
And it's a phrase I've used a couple times now. The phrase is Chifan Lama, which I said to you before we started recording. And Chifan Lama.
How are you?
Yeah, it means did you eat yet? But it
right.
means how are you? Yeah,
you've
Chifan
mentioned
Lama.
that to me, but you didn't say it last time.
Right.
Okay. I have a word, Spanish word of the pod, and it is antiguo or Antigua, Gua, Antigua.
Is that ancient?
Wow,
Ancient?
very good.
Parada. Okay.
It is ancient.
We need to get
I chose
like
it because of Xi'an, as it's a very ancient city.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, I think and it used to be called Chang'an, which I believe means like eternal peace or eternal peace city or something like this. And yeah, but it is definitely ancient. I will tell you this though, Jared. So we made a pact on our last episode. We were going to do 10 minutes of language learning a day.
Oh, shoot.
I've already broken the pact.
I forgot.
Okay, Jared broke it. Okay. All right, then starting this episode, Jared.
Well, let's start next episode because of timing purposes for the next episode.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Okay. Well, anyways, starting this week.
Okay.
We need to do 10 minutes of...
Come back to us on episode 141.
Yep.
141.
And we'll talk about it. Yeah, we'll talk about it. But I have downloaded a couple apps. But I'll talk more about those in our next episode because I want to look at them some more. I just kind of glanced through them on the train. But yeah, because I tell you what, man, I'm really loving it here in China. I think unless something crazy happens, I will probably stay here another year. A little teaser for all of our listeners wondering what my plan is for next year. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I just love it here. It's great. And I would love to learn more of the language. So we'll be doing that.
Great.
So I told you my Chinese, I guess, phrase of the pod for this one. Mm-hmm. Well, good. So a quick recap of today's episode. So I am just very happy and fortunate that I was able to, one, see my colleagues present all of their awesome material. Mm-hmm. I'm definitely going to use that, recycle it in my own teaching, or steal it, depending on how you look at it, one way or another. But it was also really great to work with teachers in Xi'an and get to know them and kind of hear their stories and see what, for me, it was interesting to see which activities they liked and disliked and why. So that was really cool. And since I only got a little slight taste of Xi'an this trip because I was so busy with work, it's really motivated me to go back there. So keep your eyes and ears open, people, for an On the Road Again Part 2 Xi'an. Yeah, Jared?
It is great, though, that you have this, through your job, you almost have something forcing you to travel and see the country that you live in. Not forcing you like you have to force yourself to get out, but it's a great way to facilitate travel, especially in a place that you're unfamiliar with and sort of nervous to travel by yourself. They make it very easy for you to get to these places and explore these cities on your own. I think it's great that we can exploit that here on the Untranslatable podcast.
Absolutely. Well, and I'm really surprised, Jared, because I thought it would take me, although I don't have Wi-Fi yet, other than that, I thought it would take me a lot longer to get into the swing of things. Classes are going really well. I feel really comfortable traveling around. Now I know when I get in a cab to go to the train station, I've been there enough times, I know when the cab driver's either taking the expressway or taking the back roads way. And it's really cool to, I've been here over a month. Yep. Grocery store's getting easier. Still not used to the smell. There's just so many smells going on there. But, when you got all that live seafood, there's not really much you can do about it.
Yeah, that's probably the bulk of it.
But yeah, right. Exactly. But Xi'an is amazing for any of our listeners out there who are thinking about taking a trip to China. I would highly suggest it. I'm definitely going back because there is so much history and amazing stuff there. And if you're trying to shell out some dough, ShangriLa Hotel is also a great spot to stay. You can take a nice bath.
For the ballin'.
And it's a pretty decent location as well. So we hope this has been a fun episode for all of you. If you're curious about some games in the language classroom,
you betcha.
Let us know, and I'm happy to either send you the PowerPoint or let you know some tips, tricks, or ideas about games in the classroom. If you want to know more information, however, about Xi'an, keep your eyes and ears open until our next episode. Today was more of just a little teaser about Xi'an. But we hope you enjoyed, and we've piqued your travel interest for that amazing historical city in China. So we thank you all so much for your support. And as we say here at the Untranslatable Podcast, Děkujeme, muchas gracias, and 谢谢.